Alright, so welcome back. Hopefully this is the final installment, I believe. So I'm covering 2 more things here. So in my prior videos, I showed you how to pull in some text and determine what the language is, or identify the language. And then we went through and identified the tokens, or the parts of text that the words are of. So in this video, what I'm going to do is lemmatization. So just really quickly, I'm going to do a print statement here. And lemmatization. Okay, let's create some space. So in this example, I'm going to show you shorthand now, because all that typing for the options was just too crazy. So again, the first thing we're going to do is set the options. And again, I'm going to just do a constant here. I'm going to do lemma options. Okay, so shorthand for options, instead of typing all of that junk, we're going to actually set its type to NSLinguisticTagger options. Okay, that's the very first thing we're going to do. And now we're going to actually bring in the rest of the values for this struct. So we're going to do equals and then the square brackets, and we're just going to do dot notation from here. So we're going to do dot omit white space, and then again dot omit punctuation, and then dot joint names. Okay, so instead of all of that typing, let's see, it's supposed to be lowercase s, not uppercase s. That's why it's freaking out. Okay, so now instead of all that typing, NSLinguisticTagger options this that, and then doing it all over again, we can actually bring everything in. Again, I mean, I could have presented this at first, but I kind of wanted to show you that, yes, there's a longer way of doing it, but it actually does make some sense. All right, so that's one thing we did, and now let's take a look at what this class is. So it is still NSLinguisticTagger options, so it's not int yet. So let's keep that in mind when we start adding more information. Okay. So again, the next thing, if you can guess, we have to create an instance. All right, so we do let lemma tagger equal, and then we're just going to do NSLinguisticTagger, and there's really no other shorter way of doing this. I mean, it is pretty short and to the point. So instead of doing all the available schemes, I'm just going to do shorthand. Let's see, I think I'm just going to do shorthand lemma. Yes. So again, you don't necessarily have to do, let's see if I can do it like this. All right, so I do have to do the square brackets. That's one thing I forgot. Now it should work. All right, it does. But now we need options. So let's bring in the options. Now, in this case, I think I might need to bring in raw value, but let's see what happens. It's going to tell us what we need to do, basically. Oh, cannot convert. So yes, so what's asking us is, okay, well, I can't convert it to an int because it is of class NSLinguisticTagger options. So it gives us, or do you want to replace it with converting the lemma options raw values into an integer? Yes. So let's fix that. So this is something a little bit different than what we did up here, I believe. So we did have to do the int, but because we already brought in the raw values automatically, that's one step we didn't have to do. But, you know, that's not a lot of typing in comparison to what we did before. So again, that's shorthand. And then what's the next thing we need to do? We need to bring in the text. So we do the instance, so lemmatagger dot string equals, and I'm going to do German because this is a really great example for a language that has different conjugations of verbs. So let's do that. So we're going to do text, and so it's going to determine what the language is for us. Okay, and then what's the next thing we need to do? Well, we need to set the range, right? So I'm going to do let lemma range equal NSRange. And we want location int, length int. I'm going to start at the beginning, and then we're going to bring in the text. So dir text dot utf16 count. All right, now the final thing we need to do is enumerate over this, right? So 5, enumerate. So again, we do the instance, so it's lemmatagger dot enumerate. I'm going to do scheme. So now we're going to bring in the range, which is lemma range. The scheme is going to be lemma. The options is going to be the options that I brought in. So it's going to be lemma options. It's going to tell me what I need to do. I'm pretty sure if I messed anything up. And yep, it's giving me some issues here. Okay, let's find out what these issues are. But I'm going to keep going. Go ahead and create the block. And if remember, we have to do those 4 arguments. So I'm going to do tag, token range, sentence range. Actually, I'm not going to do sentence range. So I'm just going to do underscore because I don't need it. And then stop in. And that should silence any errors. If there's any errors, then we'll find out. Okay, so there we see that we don't necessarily have to add all of the stuff that I added above. We don't need to do a linguistics tagger options raw value blah blah. As you see, the only thing I had to do was put in the options with nothing else. So let's go ahead and have this output something for us so we can see what it's actually doing. So I'm going to do exactly what I did before. I'm just going to create a constant to pull out the word. Alright, so now that we have the substring, one thing we need to do is when we bring in the tag, we've got to make sure that there are no nils because there could be. So let's do a quick test to make sure that tag is not nil. So we do if tag not equal to nil, then I want it to do some work. If it's not nil, one thing I want to do is I want to pull out its raw value. So I'm going to do let test tag, actually I'm going to do text tag equal to the string, converted string of the raw value of tag. So tag, I'm going to forcibly unwrap it and pull out its raw value. Then what I want to do is if it is another form of a verb or, I don't know, adjective or whatever, I want to compare and only pull out those differences. So I'm going to do an if statement. So if the text tag does not equal the actual word or the token being brought in, then I want it to output those differences so I can see the root of that word. So I'm going to do a print statement here and my quotes, and then I'm going to bring in the test tag. So you do the / text tag, and then I also want to output the word that it's representing or the token. Okay, so this is great. So if we see here, well, error, so it's basically capitalization is the only difference. We have arbeiten is the root or the verb of arbeitete. Wollen, will, so that is the verb. Mensch, mention, so this plural version of Mensch. etc. So this is really awesome. Yeah, this is really cool. Ergehen, ergeht, darstellen, darzustellen. So there we go. We have some really cool. It's like I said, it's really awesome when you have a language coming in that has different versions of their verbs or whatnot. So that's where you have lemmatization. So the next example is going to be named identity recognition. So I'm just going to really quickly just put in a named entity here. All right. So again, we're going to do exactly what we did above. So we're going to do our options. And I'm just going to copy this and just rename it when I put it down here. So instead of lemma options, I'm going to do named options, because this is going to be exactly what I need anyway for this. And then the second thing I need is to what? Create an instance, right? So let's do an instance. So we do let named tagger, NSLinguisticTagger, tag schemes. Okay, I know I can't convert it, so convert it for me. Okay, so we have our instance. So the next thing we need to do, well, we need to bring in the text. So we're going to do named tagger dot string equals, I believe it's name string, name text. That's what it is, so that's what I'm bringing in. So that's the third one. And the fourth thing we need to do is set the range. So I do let named range equal ns range, location 0, length is named text, UTF, UFT 16, I believe, UTF 16. Okay. Named text. Right. The next thing we need to do is enumerate. So let's go ahead and do that. So we do named tagger dot enumerate scheme. Range is named range. Scheme is dot name type. Options, it's named options. And then using, let's do tag. Let's see what else I need to do. I need to use token range. I don't need sentence. I need stop in. All right. So I'm gonna just copy the token because I do want the words to come through again. All right. I think we're going to do what I did above here, bring in the if tag is not nil statement. Okay. And then I'm going to bring in the tag. So I'm going to let tag equal string describing tag. Forcibly unwrapping and pulling out its raw value. And then if the tag equals other word, then I don't want it, or it does not equal other word, because I don't want it to just print out every word. I'm actually just interested in any word that's other than other word. And I'm going to do a print statement here. I'm going to do string describing tag. Alright, fine, I'll just do tag. and then I also want to bring in the word. Oh, I forgot to put in name text. That's why it's printing out what it is. Okay, so now we see the named entities here. We have two personal names, Shawnee, myself, and then Steve Wozniak, and then we have an organization name, which is Apple, and then place, the city and a state. So there we go. Hopefully you found this very interesting. Hopefully as interesting as I did. If it's helped you in any way, just give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to, get more of my videos. And if you want to be notified, you got to hit that bell. Okay. All right, friends. Till next time. Keep calm and code on.